Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So a couple of weeks ago at this point I put out a call for questions essentially, both on my Instagram as well as on my YouTube community post, which if you're subscribed, side note, if you're not, maybe it's time to change that. Just like click the subscribe button. Is it on this corner? That corner? It's totally free, zero commitments, but it will mean so much to me if you join my little YouTube family. But yeah, if and when I post, and if you're subscribed, you're going to see my community post basically plop up, I guess, just like in your subscription feed. So yeah, I did put out a call for questions because my last Q&A was almost 2 years ago. And I think we have a good mix of questions, luxury, travel, and just like general life questions and random questions. So I guess let's start with the YouTube questions because you're my people. Then we're going to get into, oh, actually I posted on Instagram the option of asking questions anonymously. So those will be extra juicy. I haven't looked into those at all. So yeah, just like blindly screenshot it essentially. And then we're gonna get into the like regular Instagram questions. So anyway, let's get into the YouTube questions. LV Coco Lover 7322, they asked a couple of questions. First question, what are your thoughts on luxury creators shifting their content and or selling their bags? I feel like it's been the talk of the town, especially with Lydia Elise Millen deciding to sell her bags and stuff. It's been the talk of the town for a couple of months at this point. But overall, like the theme of is luxury YouTube dying? Is luxury per se dying? Yeah, it's kind of like an evergreen kind of topic that's been around for years at this point. What are my thoughts about luxury creators shifting their content and or selling their bags? I don't have any thoughts. That's also one of the reasons, like generally, you will have noticed, I do sit-down videos, but I don't do commentary videos and like, yeah, let alone gossip kind of videos. That's just like not what I'm interested in. I'm just coming from a like live and let live kind of perspective. So I honestly don't have any thoughts because it doesn't affect me. I feel like people evolve. I mean, especially Lydia, just like taking her as an example because she's one of the more prevalent examples. She's been on Instagram and YouTube and everything for maybe like a decade at this point, and people evolve. Like maybe, no idea when she started, maybe like mid-20s or something, and she's like mid-30s maybe, roughly. You evolve over a period of 10-ish years, regardless of whether you're on Instagram and YouTube or not. So yeah, just by people being on Instagram and YouTube and documenting their life and like, yeah, whatever they choose to share with the internet, it's obviously more obvious that people change when they document their entire life and people have been following them for a long time and have established maybe like parasocial relationships with like major influencers as opposed to someone changing but being like off social media overall. But yeah, long story short, I don't have any thoughts. Tons of creators that started with luxury have shifted their content, just as well as like people that started in beauty, for instance. Realistically, there are tons of like former beauty influencers that shifted their content to something else. People just evolve. And if you're no longer interested in what the current like content of a specific influencer that you used to watch back in the day is, then just like unsubscribe. That's those are my thoughts. Weird way to start this Q&A, but anyway. So next question, still by LV Coco Lover 7322. They said, just skip this one if it's too personal, but here I'm addressing it. Have you experienced bullying at school or later in life? I consider myself really fortunate that I haven't really experienced it. I mean, there was lots of potential there because I was a straight A student, and yeah, sometimes whatever the reason behind bullying, maybe sometimes can also be like born out of jealousy and stuff. But yeah, fortunate enough, like knock on wood, I haven't like experienced major bullying. Maybe a couple of snarky comments here and there, but no actual bullying, I think. And I consider myself really lucky that I didn't have to go through that because it can definitely take a toll on, yeah, kids' lives and growing into their adulthood if they experience bullying for an extended period of time. So yeah, knock on wood. All right, next question by Jill Gillop. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What are your favorite purchases so far this year? I feel like I haven't, like, in terms of like quantity, I haven't purchased that much this year, but I'd say this beauty right here, which was kind of unexpected and also unplanned. Yeah, it's a 0 series, comes still with the authenticity card. I filmed like a reveal and unboxing of this beauty. It's a vintage one, duh, very much vintage, but in such great condition. And surprisingly, or kind of unsurprisingly, I don't know, but like luckily, I've been wearing her tons and I also got a great deal on that. So yeah, I think this would be my favorite purchase this year so far. I'm going to be linking my unboxing in the corner as well as in the description box. She's just perfect. What are you using the most in terms of like purchases this year? Okay, let's see, what did I purchase? I bought the Murakami Pochette Clé by Louis Vuitton very early on this year. I haven't used that yet. To be fair, going into the purchase, I wasn't even sure if I was intending to use it like at all at any point in time, so I'm not overly worried about it, but yeah, that's definitely not something I used. Did use my Chanel, it's the medium by the way, I did use that one a lot. I purchased these earrings that I'm wearing today, but I did buy them at the beginning of May, so it hasn't been that long. Considering the short period of time that they've been in my collection, I've worn them a ton, but in total, I think my classic flap will be the top used piece that I purchased this year. Also, not really a question, but I just want to say how beautifully filmed and edited your vlogs are. I feel like I'm there with you. Thanks so much for all the time you spent making them. Thank you. Yeah, the funny thing is, back in the day when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, okay, sit down videos like exclusively because yeah, it's just like me talking to a camera in an empty room. I think I can manage that. And over time, I'd say I've gotten a little more comfortable, like vlogging. Yeah, obviously shopping vlogs, but also travel vlogs. And I feel like, yeah, some of my travel vlogs don't really get that many views, but I just love filming them and editing and like perfecting them. Yes, I spend a lot of time editing my travel vlogs. And to be fair, also my shopping vlogs, because I make it a priority to research the price in both USD, British pounds and euros, and that takes a lot of time. But anyway, I think you're referring more to the travel vlog, so thank you. That's so sweet. Okay, next question by Veros.1326. What has been your Roman Empire recently? Okay, there's something. So my last London trip, which was at the beginning of May, I don't recall like the exact tube station, but realistically, I'm talking about an ad. Realistically, that ad will be all over London. I just like noticed it, maybe like on Piccadilly Circus or something. I didn't take a picture, but maybe I'm gonna find it online. It was by KLARNA or Afterpay or something. Basically said everybody pays in four. So essentially layaway programs, or like, yeah, not paying like the full amount, but like splitting it into like tinier payments. I feel like the whole Afterpay and KLARNA business model is so predatory and so like dangerous. Obviously, we're all adults. I don't know, do they offer like those pay in four options to minors? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but we're all adults, but at the same time, it can be a slippery slope. So that, like, I've been thinking about it way more than I should maybe, because yeah, again, it doesn't really affect me, but at the same time, I can see it leading a lot of people towards a dangerous path. And this ad kind of like really stuck out to me, like everybody pays in for. A, not everybody does, and B, maybe no one should, because it's, yeah, it can be a slippery slope for sure. Also, side note, was it Afterpay or KLARNA? I think they started working with DoorDash or like Uber Eats. If you have to KLARNA and like split into several payments, like meal delivery, not judging, but like think think about what that means. I mean, it's so predatory. Also, okay, going off on a tangent, just like one side note thought, and then I'm gonna move on because I've been talking for way too long. I think I read somewhere that 60% of Coachella tickets, I don't know when Coachella was, like a couple of months ago, I'm definitely not in the loop when it comes to that, but 60% or like even more of that, of the ticket purchase price was paid on like a layaway or like pay in four kind of KLARNA payment structure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like me being super debt and like risk averse that I wouldn't touch like pay in four kind of like payment structures with a 10-foot pole, but yeah, super predatory. So yeah, that's kind of been my Roman Empire. Can you tell? It's definitely been something that has been occupying my mind quite a bit. Anyway, I did get a couple of questions in German, so I'm just gonna like paraphrase and translate. So essentially, question by Moni GQ2SD, geez, your usernames. But anyway, so are you interested in like jewelry brands? If so, which ones? Greetings from Munich. Hi. yes, I mean, I appreciate I don't talk about jewelry, especially like high-end, like luxury brand jewelry too often, but I've been like consciously training myself to not talk about my VCA bracelet too much because I think like I caught myself getting annoyed by me mentioning it. My VCA 5 motif mother of pearl bracelet, apart from my Cartier Trinity bracelet, like the one on the cord, which I'm currently not wearing because I have it on like a red cord currently. But yeah, this is basically my only fine jewelry, luxury jewelry piece, if that makes sense. I do own a good amount of Chanel earrings, these being my most recent purchases. But yeah, so VCA for sure, but the prices have skyrocketed. I did purchase this for my birthday a couple of years ago, 2021, I think. I do have a couple of like videos about my VCA bracelet. Going into this purchase, I wasn't like a jewelry person at all. Earrings, yes, but like costume jewelry earrings. So this was definitely a step up and kind of like a gamble because I didn't know like how much I would actually be wearing my VCA bracelet. When I tell you, and you can ask any family member of mine, any friend of mine, colleague, if they even notice, they can tell you anytime I leave my apartment, this is on my wrist. Honestly, like the cost per wear is in like the single digits at this point. I feel like maybe not quite, but yeah, this is on my wrist constantly. And considering it's mother of pearl, yes, okay, I don't shower with it. I don't like go swimming with it and everything, but it's on my wrist constantly. And that considered, it looks as good as new. I know there's been a lot of talk about VCA quality issues. Yeah, everything kind of gets blown out of proportion thanks to TikTok. And like it just takes one viral video for people to think, oh, okay, VCA has bad quality, which I don't know. I don't even want to get into like drama culture and like viral negative videos. Negative videos always perform better than positive videos. But yeah, anyway. So okay, back to like jewelry brands. Certainly VCA, but they've raised their prices quite a bit. I don't know if I would be willing to spend the current price. I actually don't even know how much the 5 motif mother of pearl bracelet is currently, but it's definitely like at least 2K more expensive than when I purchased it in 2021. But yeah, like visually and like from the aesthetics, VCA is definitely a brand that I'm very much interested in. Bulgari. If I was in a position and I would be like mentally able to part with that amount of money, maybe like a serpentine bracelet. Yeah, Bulgari is on a whole nother level. I adore their bags. Case in point, I only, like at this point, I only own one Bulgari bag, but I would definitely love to extend my Bulgari bag collection. And maybe sometime along the way, I might splurge on a Bulgari fine jewelry piece. But yeah, that's for the jewelry part. Next question by Meow. A couple of W's in between there, but I'm just gonna like read it out as Meow. Hi Lesley, I personally enjoy your videos because you have such a great taste in luxury and at the same time you're mindful of what's worth spending and what's not. Yeah, out of necessity because I can't buy everything, but even if I was able to purchase like everything that I'm even remotely interested in, I think I'd still be very mindful in terms of what I'm spending and if it's actually something that I would be willing to wear. If that makes sense. Anyway, I'm not even done reading it out. I was wondering, what was your first luxury purchase ever and how did it evolve ever since? Have a great summer ahead. Thank you. My first ever luxury purchase. Okay, my first more expensive handbag is unfortunately no longer in my collection. I sold it and I lost a lot of money on it. I just should have kept it for the memory. It was a Marc by Marc Jacobs. I think that division line doesn't even exist anymore. It was a leather bag, beautiful, like rich, similar to that kind of like cognac brownish kind of color. Yeah, so that is unfortunately no longer in my collection. Maybe I'm gonna find a picture somewhere. It's gonna be on the screen if I do, but yeah, that was my first like expensive handbag purchase. My first luxury bag purchase is also no longer in my collection, but you won't need me to be including a photo because it's like a very well-known and basic first luxury purchase. It was my Louis Vuitton Neverfull in GM in the Damier band. We've parted ways since because I realized over time that I just didn't reach for it like at all. So yeah, I let that one go, and I think ever since then, the amount of bags that form my collection has definitely increased. But on a like slow and steady pace, I'd say. Again, tying back to the like mindfulness kind of thing. Because realistically and like factually, there are only 7 days in a week. I can only wear one bag at a time. So I don't foresee myself getting to a point where I have like 100 bags or something. How did I get on this tangent? I don't know. Yeah, how did it evolve? So yes, I did add a couple more bags to my collection, and I kind of ventured off of the Louis Vuitton coated canvas kind of route. I still own like a Noe, which you see like glimpses of down there. That's like a vintage Noe in the monogram canvas actually, but for the most part, basically all of my bags are leather bags, so that's maybe like the most obvious change. All right, next off, so much design with Hannah. Hi Hannah. So Hannah wants to know, what luxury item would you miss the most if not in your collection? Okay, and the second question, which I'm gonna get into. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's just like things, right? Would I be sad if my entire collection was gone? Yes. Would I survive? Also yes. But most sad, maybe my VCA bracelet. I don't know, it's just like at this point, because I've had it for a couple of years and I've been wearing it basically every time I leave my apartment, it's kind of like a part of me. So yeah, maybe my VCA bracelet. Or maybe my Chanel Jumbo Classic Flap. I did purchase my Jumbo Classic Flap new from the boutique. And I don't think I would miss the bag for it being a bag, but I would miss the option of ever having a Jumbo Classic Flap again, because those, yeah, Chanel pricing, especially on like classic flap, is off the charts. I don't think I'd ever spend the current amount for a classic flap. So yeah, if that left my collection, it would be like a final thing. I wouldn't like repurchase it, if that makes sense. So for the fact that knowing definitively that that was like the last time I had a Jumbo Classic Flap in my collection, that would be kind of sad. But I think like for the piece itself, I think my VCA bracelet. Next question is still by Hannah. What is your next travel destination? Okay, so I'm fortunate enough to have a couple of trips lined up, but you're only asking for my next. My next trip is coming up somewhat shortly. It's actually a cruise. So last year I did film 2 videos actually, shameless plug, from a cruise that I took in the Caribbean, and that was my first cruise ever. And I really enjoyed the experience. So this summer I'm going on a cruise again with my parents actually, which I'm so looking forward to. Actually, we'll be on their cruise during their wedding anniversary, so I'll have to think about something special to treat them to. But yeah, it's gonna be to Norway and the Lofoten Island, if that's the way that you pronounce it in English as well. So basically, I think there's one stop on the Shetland Islands, and then we're basically going up Norway and down Norway again, and that's basically it, like a 2-ish week cruise, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's very different. I don't know if I'm gonna like vlog it properly, because I mean, it's gonna be beautiful, no question about that. It's gonna be very green, and also we'll be there at a time where, because Norway is fairly up north, at a time where actually the sun doesn't go down, which is going to be interesting. Also, it's going to be very light, like throughout the entire night. So hopefully I'll be able to sleep. Really excited, but at the same time, I don't know if I'll do like, yeah, a super extensive vlog. Maybe I'm just going to do like similar to my like encompassing China vlog, just like quick little intro and then just like footage for like an hour or so, not with like me jumping in and like talking you through what we're doing, but I haven't fully decided on that. But yeah, that's my next travel destination. All right, next off, by Miss British Woman. What luxury products do you repeatedly use, go to daily? Yeah, this is on my wrist constantly, unless I'm working from home, which yeah, I don't like dress up when I'm working from home, but definitely my VCA bracelet. What holiday out of all your holidays have you enjoyed the most, and what made it so memorable? That's like asking a parent for their favorite child or something. I like, especially ever since the pandemic like dwindled down a little, I've enjoyed like traveling so much. And I've been fortunate enough to have like taken a good amount of special vacations. So yeah, the cruise in the Caribbean was amazing. My China trip was so special. So I did spend almost 3 weeks in China, like traveling through China. We started in Beijing, then we did Xi'an, so like the Terracotta Army. We did a river cruise on the Yangtze. We did like South China, the nature in South China, like very Vietnam kind of vibes. So beautiful, like yeah, really mind-blowing. And towards the end we did Shanghai. So I think most memorable, Also, I might be biased because there was like a fairly recent trip, but yeah, my China trip was definitely one for the books. So I'm gonna go with China. Next question by a bike one. You may have answered it before, but curious what kind of job you do outside of YouTube. We had a small clue when you took us around London on your recent trip, but I don't remember you ever talking about it in your vlogs when you lived there. So yeah, I did live in London for half a year with work in 2023. Okay, I'm gonna be annoying, but yeah, my work and my YouTube is very separate and I prefer to stay that way. So yeah, I work in a corporate setting and that's all I'm gonna say about that. And okay, next question by Gail Kuz. Oh, I'm sorry, looking at the name, I'm certain that I'm gonna butcher it. What do you do for a living? If your job involved being in London and San Francisco for an extended period of time in the past, it certainly sounds interesting. Thank you. I did spend 3 months in San Francisco in 2019. That technically was still like before my final like exams and stuff, but technically was part of my education, but I did work in San Francisco as part of my education, if that makes sense, like kind of like a traineeship, I guess. Yeah, again, I think I'm gonna leave it at I work in a corporate setting. It definitely doesn't have anything to do with fashion or luxury, unfortunately. Another question by LV Coco Lover 7322. Outside of luxury YouTube, what other kind of content do you enjoy watching? Actually, it's kind of like spread out in terms of like topics that I'm watching. And when it comes to like getting ready in the morning or like commuting and stuff, I enjoy like stuff that I can watch without actually watching, just like a podcast essentially. So very like long format kind of videos. And sometimes like luxury doesn't really lend itself towards it, especially when people like do unboxings and stuff. So something that kind of like a guilty pleasure. But like, okay, the bigger picture is I really enjoy watching like personal finance kind of content, which is kind of nerdy, but yeah, at the same time, yes, I enjoy spending money on stuff, but at the same time, I also know that, yeah, you should like look into the future and like, yeah, live a rich life today and an even richer life tomorrow, which is a quote that I stole from Ramit Sethi. So I do enjoy watching his videos. He has like a podcast kind of format where he interviews usually more high net worth couples. So yeah, that's really interesting. And usually those kind of videos go for at least an hour. So that's perfect, like for getting ready in the morning, commuting. Yeah, just like to have something playing in the background and listening to it. Not my guilty pleasure, because his videos are actually really like, there's lots of like very valuable lessons in there, because you could be looking at a couple that makes like 300K a year and they're living paycheck to paycheck, and that shouldn't be happening. So yeah, really, really valuable lessons in those kind of conversations. My guilty pleasure, still in the like personal finance sphere, is Caleb Hammer. So whereas Ramit Sethi focuses on more high net worth individuals, or at least like people with a high, like definitely six-figure salary, Caleb is more on the other side of the spectrum. He talks to people that like take out payday loans and again, like the KLARNA and afterpay of it all. But yeah, cars with a car payment each month takes up like 50% of their take home pay and stuff. So that's like a guilty pleasure. Caleb definitely loves to scream and like cuss out people. He bleeps out the like words that would get him demonetized or the videos demonetized. But yeah, sometimes I want to feel better about myself. I watch those kind of videos and I'm like, yep, I'm definitely doing really well in terms of my finances for being in my early 30s. So yeah, personal finance. There are a couple of other like, let's see, let's look at my subscription feed without this taking up too much time. I did back in the day used to watch a lot of, what is he called? Graham Stephan, but he's like very sensationalized when it comes to his videos these days, or like the topics, which is fair. I mean, yeah, YouTube is definitely his full-time job, and the more clickbaity the title, the more people watch, which also goes to my detriment, because I don't want to like work with clickbaity titles or like negative video topics, which again, negativity gets clicks, but that's not what I'm interested in. Oh, okay, just scroll past him. So yeah, let's group the personal finance theme in one category. The second category, also like generally very long format kind of stuff, and also not something that you have to like actually look at because there's not much happening, is soft white underbelly. Again, very much nothing to do with luxury bags. So The guy is called Mark something, and I think he started like as a very successful photographer, and then he started doing like interviews on Skid Row. So he's from LA, and he interviews, like, he started with mainly just like interviewing people that live on Skid Row, drug addicts, and like all of the drugs, a group of society which is very much removed from my life and my day-to-day life. And I think it's really important to get perspective. Also, I'm not from the US, so that also plays into it, because yeah, I'm not even affected by some of the like policies that people in the US are affected by. But anyway, so I think it's really important to get a more general view of society. And yeah, Mark's videos definitely do that. He's branched out a little bit more, and yeah, interviews a bunch of different kind of people, more like niche parts of society, if that makes sense. Definitely check it out. I can't really describe it, but it's really interesting and yeah, very eye-opening to just like get a more broad perspectives of society, if that makes sense. Let's see, obviously like luxury YouTube, a couple of travel influencers, especially ever since like I started preparing for my China trip. I did follow a couple of travel influencers. I think one of them is called Two Passports, One Dream. She's from Stockholm, he's from Scotland. I think that like they're a couple, and a couple of other travel influencers, because they, like a couple of months before I was headed to China, they went to China as well, and it was really helpful to do a little more research in terms of like what to do, what to expect and stuff. I do watch occasionally like perfume videos. Yeah, that's basically it. So some some Disney content actually, just like to clear my palate if I just want to like zone out and watch people show what they purchased on their most recent Disneyland Paris trip or something. So safe to say a broad variety, but yeah, personal finance apart from luxury is definitely the main type of content that I'm watching. Let me answer a couple more questions and then I might split this up into 2 videos. Okay, question by, okay, not gonna be able to pronounce that username. When are you coming to India? I've never been to India. I wouldn't say no to it, but at the same time, I don't have unlimited funds. I don't have unlimited like PTO, so it's a matter of like scheduling and planning, but I won't say no to coming to India. Danny O, I think Danny just recently posted a video where she said that she's gonna leave YouTube, which is so sad. I really enjoyed her videos, but yeah, she's gonna be linked below anyway. And next travel destination, and which bags will you bring? Again, I'll be going on the Norway cruise, and I've been actually thinking about which bag I want to take. Maybe 2 bags max. It's not going to be like a fashion kind of vacation. Not hiking per se, but lots of like activities like walking around. So maybe I'm going to take my Celine belt bag, almost forgot the name there, because yeah, it's super spacious. It does have a crossbody shoulder strap. I tend to not wear my bags crossbody, but it's nice to have the option, or like just like on your shoulder, or grip of the arm hand carry. So that may be coming with me, as well as my Saint Laurent toy Lulu. Those 2 actually came to Washington DC and New York with me 3 years ago. It's been 3 years and I'm dying to go back to New York, but again, it's a matter of funds and PTO. So yeah, maybe those 2, but subject to change. NV4699, your videos, especially your travel vlogs, are shot so beautifully. Thank you. Honestly, that means so much to me, I can't tell you. Have you ever considered becoming a professional photographer or cinematographer in any way? Thank you. And no, I actually haven't. I think once you get into photography, there's so much to learn, and like photography is my iPhone exclusively. I have the iPhone 16 Pro, is it? Yeah, I believe so. There's some fluff on my camera. So yeah, it's in terms of like iPhones, when it comes to photo and video quality, I guess it's the best you can get currently, I think. But yeah, I've never ventured into the camera and like lenses. You can buy like chunky ass lenses that are way more expensive than handbags. I don't know, I've never really considered it. Also, I think that kind of like industry is very relationship and like you have to know the right person and the right people kind of base. So that's not me. And no, I've never considered going in that direction. Another question, I think Moni, we already I think I already covered one of your questions, but you posted another one in German again, so I'm gonna like try to translate. She wants to know if one of my parents' native language is English, because she said, yeah, you're from Germany, which is correct, and your English is so good, so thank you. I appreciate that so much. So yeah, you would guess, because my first name is certainly not like a standard German name, but unfortunately, or like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, but no, none of my parents comes from the US or the UK or something, both from Germany, and it's just like a matter of me being really interested in the language and like traveling and stuff. I still definitely can tell my German accent, and my intention or my wish for my 6-month term in London would have been that I can kind of like get away from my German accent, but I don't think it's something that I'll be able to get rid of at any point in time, but thank you, I appreciate that. Elsie Charlotte, your favorite bag in your collection? Oh, that's so hard. I mean, again, I love the fact that I own my Chanel Jumbo Classic Flap, but from the way that I phrased it just now, you'll know that it's more of the fact that I own that like special and like iconic kind of bag, as opposed to the bag itself, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna go with my Chanel medallion tote, which you will have seen numerous times on my channel, so I'm gonna make it short. I think I have like a review on my channel, so check that out. Yeah, this is such a perfect bag. I purchased it pre-loved, yeah, maybe 5, 6-ish years ago at this point. I adore it. I kind of want to buy like another one, maybe like a beige or a red. Yeah, maybe not a red, because I'm not that much of a red kind of person. I don't know why I said red. I think I favorited one like in a magenta red kind of color on Vestiaire Collective. Maybe that's why I said red. But I think I'd love like a white or a cool toned beige. It's just a matter of finding it at a good price, because yeah, the pre-loved prices have definitely gone up. So yeah, hopefully all of my bags didn't listen. It definitely doesn't mean that I don't love my other bags, but yeah, now I feel bad. It's fine, I love you too, you too. All right, maybe one more question. Yeah, one more question, and then we'll actually be done with the YouTube questions. And I think I'm just gonna have to do like a 2-part situation, because I've been blabbering on for way too long. All right, another German question, so let me read before I try to translate it. Okay, so essentially, yeah, a lovely compliment when it comes to my travel vlogs, and you got inspired by my most recent London vlog and want to go to the terrace. I think it's on the old, like the general post office. Yeah, I came across that on Instagram by complete accident, because most of the like rooftop gardens and stuff are in like the city of London. I love the garden at 120. I actually wanted to go to that as well during like my last trip, but I looped around the corner and saw like a long ass line. I was like, no, I'm not gonna wait like half an hour to go up like a rooftop garden, which I've been on a couple of times already. And apparently she got inspired. It's Katharina XXX 2107. Her question, okay. What do you do for a living, seeing as that led you living in London for half a year? Yeah, I guess I already addressed that. Sorry to be ending on such a like kind of note, but yeah, check back for part number 2. I appreciate you so much if you made it all the way until the end of this video, because I definitely didn't anticipate to be blabbering on this much. Maybe I'll be able to cut it down a little bit in the editing process, but thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way until the end, leave an airplane emoji for travel, duh, in the comments below so I know you made it. And yeah, consider subscribing if you haven't already. On my channel, I talk about all things luxury, in particular handbags, but I cover a wide range of topics, unboxings, reviews, travel vlogs, shopping vlogs, and all that good stuff. So if any of that sounds like your thing, I would love for you to join my little YouTube family. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna catch you in one of my next videos. Bye.